I am on low power actually. I might need to. Where's the little charger that was down here earlier?
You wrapped it up and put it somewhere.
Nah, you moved it.
Alright, what did you do with it? There you go.
Okay, there we go.
You wrapped it up and put it somewhere.
We are talking tonight. Do you want to talk while I'm doing this, Chris?
Yes, we are talking about... We're coming out of lockdown. And the elephant in the room, no pun intended, is the fact that people are carrying a lot of lockdown pounds. Now, no doubt about it, everyone is chomping at the bit to go out and do whatever they can whenever they want to do it. But the problem is we have a tendency to go from 0 all the way to 100. Without question, you're going to have people who are deconditioned, just means really unfit, haven't moved very well. And then they're going to be in that new year, new you kind of phase where they're going to want to go and run, start doing CrossFit, climbing mountains, kayaking, canoeing, all those sorts of different things. We get into shiny object syndrome. People are going to get injured, and they're going to get injured quick. Now, what we do is because we see people, and we've seen them for years, is that we can know what it's like, not just get you fit now, but also what fitness will look like in 3 months, 6 months, a year from now. Whereas most people are only ever looking for the next couple of weeks. So we know for a fact that if you're thinking, right, I'm going to sign up for a marathon, half marathon, I'm going to get into running, you don't run, you never have, and you're unfit, you're going to get injured. Similarly, if you were fit before this period of doing as well, very little, and you think, right, I can now move outside and do some activities outside again, you crank up your volume way too soon, then what happens? You get injured. So hopefully we're here to offer you a little bit of encouragement.
It sounds really positive,
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
it?
Well, today it's hitting you frank with this because doing a school run, chatting to a few of the parents down there, and they're all in running gear, and I'm just thinking, all right, we'll see you in the physio's clinic in about 3 or 4 weeks' time. All right.
But I think you need to be commended for wanting to get fit. I think here's my take on it, and this is why we're talking about it this week.
You go for it.
Because it's been in the news a bit this week, because obviously we're hopeful that things are starting to change, that we're starting to come out of lockdown.
Yeah.
Not definite yet, but we're hopeful. And I think there is a sense of panic in some people if you've been sort of sitting snugly with some, let's say, coping mechanisms.
Biscuits.
Be that biscuits
Okay.
or chocolate or maybe wine. And here's the first thing, like, don't be too hard on yourself. He might say differently. Don't be too hard on yourself. It has been a very difficult year. I think we can say it is unprecedented.
Alas.
And also probably the toughest thing that as a generation that we've been through. So yeah, it's been a challenging year. So however you've coped, if you have coped and if you've made it this far, well done, right? That's awesome. And if you've now got to this point and you think, do you know what, I really want to get fit, but like I feel like I've missed the boat and then I really want to do something. Again, brilliant. Like, you've motivated to do something. And a third thing, actually, great podcast I listened to today, Samantha Morgan Money podcast with Katie Hill. At the moment, it's like, she likened it to when you go on a holiday. Obviously, we've not been on a holiday, and the kind of the status quo has shifted a little bit, and then when you come home and you get on the hamster wheel and everything gets back to normal. But it's like it's been shaken up a little bit, and we're still in that slightly shaky zone. So maybe now is a really good time to reassess your values, what's important to you. And if you think, do you know what, health is really important to me, fitness is really important to me, and you realise that now and you want to do something about it now, brilliant. But getting quick fit, obviously, you can see probably by the title of this, is not a thing.
How is that different to what I was said?
Well, you were just a little bit negative about it, like you're going to go and run and you're going to get injured.
Yeah, but it's exactly the same message. You've just
Okay.
gone through the back door.
Yeah.
I've gone for the direct route. You've gone for the...
But that's how we're different, isn't it? You're gonna tell someone that they need to get fit, whereas you're a bit more Simon Cowell, and I'm a bit more Sharon Osbourne, if we're using the X Factor metaphor. No?
Yes. Okay,
A bit
so...
more Amanda.
Yeah, so we are looking to encourage, obviously. We are looking to encourage, but with a sense of reality as well. Is that balance now? Yeah? So,
hello. Look.
encouragement with reality.
Oh, Tracy, you're here. Sorry, I'm talking over him.
Encouragement with a dose of reality. All right? So, what I would do if somebody gave me let's say a questionnaire, activity questionnaire. I'd ask them questions such as how active have they been before they started the last 3 or 4 weeks, and then it'd be 3 or 4 months, and then 3 or 4 years, and then you're gathering a history as to where that person's starting point is. And when you know where their starting point is, you know what to then give them, because exercise is like medicine. Give them the right dose, you get the right result. Give them too much of the wrong dose, and you can have obviously side effects. So that's what medicine, that's what exercise is like. So once I know the history, we know how much to do. So therefore, if you've been out of shape for a
Tracy's
year,
rolling her eyes, by the way, already.
if you've been out of shape and not been running for a while, or you haven't done much exercise for a year,
or walking.
I'm thinking, okay, so maybe the dose you need is maybe slow, low, often,
And achievable.
and achievable, interspersed with other things. That's what I mean by that. But what we often see is people take 3 or 4 packets of Nurofen after a night out. And you see, that's the imbalance that we have right now. So what we hope to do today is to give you some clear advice as to how to get fitter, decipher some of the nonsense that's out there, hopefully talk you down from that state you're in now, which is, I've got to do something, not sure what it is, I want to do it all. No, you're not. So hopefully we can point you in the right direction. So by the end of this, you'll think, you know what?
Some clear things. Oh, hang on. Sorry.
I'm gonna take it a little bit slower, and I'm gonna really think long term about this, and I want to make sure I don't burn out too quick too soon.
So, what we can always do in a short period of time is shift the dial. Yeah, shift the needle on the dial just a little bit. And so, my first thing, we're going to go for it now. My first thing, we might have 3 different things that I would say when it comes to getting fitter is there something that you're doing that you could do maybe 5 minutes more of or do more vigorously? So one example I would say is, right, do you walk to the shops to go and get some shopping? Could you do that, but maybe put your trainers on and wear a backpack rather than taking your bags and calling a taxi to get home? That would be my first thing. Doesn't have to be that. The thought of that might make you think, I can't do that. Could you walk to the bus stop on a regular basis, or walk 1 stop further than the bus that you currently catch? I'm not naming any names in particular here. Or
So you're going past your house or past your stop.
Well, you're going to walk to the next stop. Maybe on the way home, because you're probably going to be a bit sweaty. You might not want to do that on the way out, but if you're coming back, get off a stop earlier.
Oh, stop earlier. I thought you were saying going to stop later, go past your home, and then walk back. That's not really a motivating way to exercise, is it? Angry. That's our next book. Walk angry. Damn it, miss my stop.
Honestly, it works for me. Do you know what? I've got a style solution. Tracy's saying she can't do trainers and backpack. You totally can. Go to Alice's Wonders. She's got some amazing leather hold-all backpacks.
What?
That could be a tote and that can be a backpack, and they're really nice. Go and find Kathy's shop there.
That's beyond functional.
Sorry.
My brain has just gone like that. Beyond functional. Leather backpack for exercise?
Oh, I tell you what, it's amazing. Yeah,
Right.
no, not just for exercise. It's multi-purpose.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and a nice wedgie trainer. What's wrong with that? We could do that. We're not talking putting your Asics or your Brooks on. We're talking about putting on a nice pair of, got my nice Toms with a little chunky sole. Anyway, so yeah, one thing that you're already doing that you could either make more vigorous or that you could do for 5 minutes longer. And this needs to be regular though. We're talking 3 times a week, 5 times a week, that kind of thing. Right, hit me up number 2.
We did 3 different things. I thought you were going through your 3, then my 3.
Okay, what's your first thing then?
So mine is slightly different. Mine is more about habits forming.
But mine's habit forming.
But mine's slightly different. Slight tweak on this. So, just before Karen's wonderful example, and it was to incorporate activity into the day, sneaking it in. I want you to catch yourself when you are would not be active. So when you might think, it's a little bit cold outside, or it's a little bit far to walk, or trainers aren't in the right part of the house, so I won't put them on before I go outside. Just try and catch yourself. All those moments in the day where you would probably tap out and not be active, because there'll be a process before that happens which leads to that point of not doing the activity in question. So what you might find is, to get around it, leave your trainers at the front door, put them in the bag before you go to sleep the night before.
Hang on a minute, it's going to wiggle. Sorry, we've got some charging issues. Right, okay.
Yeah, or just trying to catch yourself before the activity window slips out. And that's what we're trying to think about. What ways can you try and just trick your brain?
Can you give me an example?
Yeah, leave your trainers at the front door.
Yeah, but you'll be other shoes at the front door, so why are the trainers different?
Because the fact that your trainers are in front of you, it's one more barrier, one less barrier to be active. So if I have barriers in my head to be active, such as getting my trainers on, getting my workout gear on, having a slot in the day, getting my watch sorted, that's 4 things.
Do you know what? You're right, actually, because when I go for my run on a Sunday morning, I now find that it's much better for me to have my clothes out. Oh, hang on. Sorry, I thought I was taking off too many clothes. No, I'm not. Was to have my... You're going to get lucky then. I was going to have my clothes ready for my run on a Sunday morning. So, yeah, sorry. So, things like that, just having stuff ready so that there are fewer excuses. Is that the sort of point you're making?
You're just repeating what I'm saying. It's just
Am
repeating what I'm saying.
woman-splaining?
No, you're telling me I haven't said certain thing, then you repeat what I've said back to me, and then I say that's exactly what I've said.
Is it not because we're in the Borg?
So it's true. So you've got to remove those obstacles, and it can be as intricate as you want, or as simple. Trainers at the front door. It could be a list of things where you think these are barriers for me being active. It could be when I get on the tube, if you get on the tube anymore. Someone getting the tube anywhere, getting on the tube. I know that I'll hold on to the railing to go up and down the escalators because I just feel I've got to just hold on to that.
I wouldn't
balance.
anymore. Would you hold the
now?
rails?
Don't touch that. Just power walk up the middle. See the escalators up there? The escalators that go all the way up into the clouds. That's you. Get your backpack on and off we go upstairs. Whether or not, or you've got your trainers at the front door, or you put your exercise gear on first thing when you wake up Sunday morning. It's one of those things that just gets you out of that habit of thinking, I just can't be bothered doing this today. And honestly, it doesn't sound like a lot, but we have all those layers that we've got to strip away, so it makes it easier for us to do the things which we know we should do, but things jump in the way. So that's my number 1.
Right, my number two is actually just moving more. So let's say, and again, you'll notice all of these things have nothing to do with flipping tires at a boot camp. These are all things. Never touch it. Yeah, my number 2 is moving more. So let's say, for example, I am totally struggling to concentrate on anything at the moment, and I think the world is. I think we've got complete emotional overload, and we've been stuck at home, and I try and concentrate, and I'm like, oh, la, where's that lovely thing? So I'm now trying to sort of think, right, okay, I'm going to do 20 minutes.
Don't know what you mean.
And then I'm going to do something. And I write myself a little list of little 5-minute jobs around the house, whether it's, some stuff in the bedroom that I will forget about unless I go up later. Or yesterday, this sounds proper middle class and at Waitrose, but I did make some kimchi yesterday morning. So that was like a little 5-minute task. Hanging some washing outside on the line. So find yourself little 5-minute tasks that are sort of brain breaks. Because actually, as well as being super efficient around the home, you are then you're moving your body. So rather than sitting down and thinking, I'm bored, I'm going to go and get a cup of tea and a biscuit, you're doing something that's different, but at the same time, you're doing something that's deeply fulfilling. And then when Chris comes home in the evening, he thinks, what a diligent housewife I have in Karen.
It is. We walk into the 1800s in this house. That is the hallway. It's a time warp. There's no period dramas.
What's your number 2?
Mine is, I want you to break down or activities or movement into short, succinct boxes. So, for example, if you think, I want to do something, what is it? I'm not sure. Get a timer, 5 minutes.
Visual aid.
5 minutes. And I want you to do as many 5-minute bursts of exercise, whether it's, you start off maybe...
Isn't that just what I said?
No. 5 minutes. So it could be once a day. It could be twice a day, 3 times a day. Where, here's where you differ, your heart rate is elevated.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't elevating my heart rate making kimchi.
No, so your heart rate, I'd like to see that. Competitive kimchi.
Frantically.
So heart rate is elevated. So you might start off with, it's just once a day. And then you might think, I may do 2 a day. And that could go back to the walk Karen mentioned earlier, where you're trying to up the pace. So you may have 2 different walks. Walk at the start, I'm thinking of Joey here, our friends. You may have a walk where you're just trying to get some activity, but you may have a 5-minute power walk where your heart rate is actually elevated. Because I think this is the lost part in movement. We don't consider heart health.
Vigorous.
Vigorous.
Vigorous. Vigorous is my word of the month.
It doesn't need to be, you're working at 90% maximum heart rate. You need sports drinks and I think a backpack and a camelback with a water thing. You don't need that. It's just, you're out of breath.
You want to get a bit sweaty.
You're out of breath.
You want to have to change your t-shirt.
Yes.
You know? You're feeling those things.
You're out of breath. And if you get home and you think, I haven't got any time to do anything, I need to do a 5-minute burst. It could just be a little home routine, which maybe we've got loads of those which you can download from us. Or it could be a simple thing as
Put some music on!
Put the music on, having a dance, going up and down the stairs for 5 minutes. If at the end your heart rate is up, job done. And then what I want you to do is track those and put like a little tick on your calendar. And then look at the ticks at the end of the week and go, yes! Fantastic. The reward of getting that heart rate elevated or vigorous activity in has been there, and then you'll see that increase week on week on week. And hopefully you can have 7 ticks. And then the ticks then become larger. So it's 5 is 10, 10 is 15, 15 is 20. But don't start at thinking you can have a box of ticks in your planner, and that's going to continue for 2 weeks, a month, 2 months. It won't last more longer than 2 weeks. You'll be done. So just try and feel just 5 minutes. And if you have to set a timer, absolutely, just whatever you need to do.
Most songs, if I'm honest, are kind of like 3 to 5 minutes, aren't they? So you could dance to 2 songs around the kitchen. Kitchen disco, loving it. It works for us.
So that's my 2.
That's your 2. Okay. So I'm kind of a bit torn between my last one, but my number 3.
What's the other one? What was the other one? Oh, what a tough one!
It's a tough call. You'll never know what those 2 things are.
That could be the next one.
I'm going to go with my second one of the 2. You nearly got 4 then, which was make your, if you have got family or a partner or you live alone but you're bubbling up with some other people, rather than having a wine night,
we can't, otherwise we'll be here till
now we've already going to have 7 then. It was only supposed to be 3, Tracy. So do find a thing, whether it's something you do with your family or with your one friend you can bubble with, and make it active. So if that is, if that is all 4 of you going down to the park with a ball, or letting the kids take the lead and create a little circuit that you're all going to do together, or if you bubble with a friend and most like weeks you have a wine night, well, don't have a wine night, go for a walk. See whether you can, have you got a regular meeting with colleagues that you would normally sit down for? Like, we're all a bit, at home at the moment. Could you go for a little walk around the forest? And everyone walks around the forest at a different time, but you still listen to each other. So what I'm saying is it needs to be a kind of regular fixture in your diary. So that is like, we know a family every Sunday morning, they're out on their bikes. So a thing that you do every week all together, whether that's with your family, your partner, your bubble person. I go for a bike ride now every Saturday morning with Kathy. Hello, Kathy, if you're watching on Catch Up. And it's great. And we bike. We don't always bike vigorously, if I'm honest. I've got to vigorously cycle up a hill. But we chat, we see people, we see dogs and go, we see horses and go, that's cute. But it's social and it's nice and it's a thing that is in our diary and that we do every week. What's your number 3?
Here we go.
Everyone's gonna go. Everybody knows your name. Only 15 seconds or we'll be done for copyright. That's it. 15.
There we go. Right, so hopefully you understand what you need is don't treat exercise or activity as a dirty little secret that is just for you and nobody else. It is, to a certain degree, because you get the reward physically. However, having a social network of people around you, a support group, is so did I say social network?
You did say social network.
A social...
Well, it is a social network,
yes, okay.
Really.
But not a social media network. A social network of people around you.
And it's what we're missing so much at the moment, isn't it? Connection.
Because what you get from this is not just the camaraderie, you get the accountability. Because if you're meeting somebody for a walk somewhere, I'll tell you what, most people will most likely turn up for that than they will if it's just in their diary for themselves.
And actually, you could double up here because if there's someone you're really annoyed with, you could both go for an angry walk together, couldn't you, and have a row?
Yeah.
That
I
would
miss
work.
my stuff. That Karen, Chris. So that's two things. But the third thing about having people around you is that there are going to be days where you think, I just can't be bothered.
Yeah.
And it comes back to that catching yourself when you think, what can I put in the way to remove obstacles? So you can remove obstacles, but also you can have things that will just maybe
Make you do
hold
them.
your feet to the fire. And just even if it's a group of people online, like you might know, I mean, that's why our community is great for that, because we have people who, some of our members will say, is anyone going for a run? Or they'll check in and they'll post that they've been for a run, and that makes somebody else think, right, I better go for my run.
Do you know what? I've been a bit of a slack Alice today. So yeah.
So it's important just to have that connection, and don't feel that it's your own little secret that you, don't feel that it's your own little secret that you think, I'm just going to do it by myself and see what happens. No, just put it out there, because I guarantee, as we always find out, when you share your goal with somebody and a problem you're trying to solve, others will say, you know what, I actually want to do that as well. Yeah. And that's your common thread. However, caveat, major caveat.
I know what's coming up now.
What's that? Major caveat.
The friend that will say,
If
eat
you
the
find-
biscuit.
If you find somebody who is pulling you down,
Thank you. Yeah.
you need to cut them off quick. Okay? So friends come with caveats.
Yeah.
Mostly for supportive.
Buy the shoes.
Yeah. Mostly very supportive. But if you have the friend who always says, "Oh, should we go out for a biscuit?" or and there are friends who would like that, or they'll try and talk you out of doing something, know when you've got to. But I guarantee there'll be very few and far between. Most people generally want
There are quite a lot of biscuit eaters in this world, though, Chris. They're not few and far between.
I like biscuits.
I know you do.
It's not anti-biscuit
You are
eaters.
a bit anti-biscuit.
It's the saboteurs. It's the saboteurs. And the saboteurs are out there. Because when it gets hard,
I wasn't thinking that at all.
when it gets hard for people, they'll sometimes try and drag you down to their level. And I want to get harsh about this, as I've got a long topic about this. I don't want to make it too much about this, but there'll be saboteurs who will feel about themselves that they don't want to do something, and they'll try and look for other people to join them down here.
Yeah.
Now, if you notice that, recognise it, draw back. But if you find those people,
Recognize.
who are generally supportive, and we have loads of people in our community who are so supportive, and that's one of the best things that we feel about our community, that we can all joke about biscuits and wine and that kind of stuff.
Do you know what? Can I just have a little step in here and that we got the loveliest response.
I do, custard creams, Tracy.
He loves.
Hopefully.
We can't buy them.
No.
We
Never.
had. That's the only reason he gives blood. No, that's not true. It's a lie. He does give blood. We had a lovely email response from one of our members today, the lovely Liz, who said that Fit School feels like, well, she knows it's our business, but it feels like more than that. Isn't that a nice thing to say?
Nice.
Isn't that nice? And it is. Anyway, just thought I'd share that on this live. At that moment. Friends.
I know I won't play anymore in case we get cut off from that one. But hopefully
Where everybody knows your name.
hopefully you can sort of see that there are many pieces to the puzzle. There are many pieces to the puzzle that help you on the fitness journey. It's not just one part of it, which is just trainers on, out the door and run. There are going to be many obstacles that come into your way, many barriers. You'll find that everyone's virtually in the same boat.
Yeah.
But what's really important is you start to put the systems in place and the structures to know that when things don't go well, or you've had a busy day at work, or you're tired, that you can get in touch with somebody who can help you at least do the 5 minutes or the 10 minutes,
It's like,
or
do you know
whatever
what?
it is.
Just go out for 5 minutes. Even if you can't, if you've run out of steam.
Yeah. So we've had 6, 3 each.
We have
3
had
each.
6.
But
Yeah.
you claim that I've copied your 3,
No.
but you've
But
expanded
I think
on my 3.
the point is you can't get fit quick. But if you feel like that's what you want to do, brilliant.
Yeah.
Because that means you're going to get started.
Yeah.
So rather than try and get fit quick and fail, try and get fit a little bit fitter, a little bit slowly, and succeed.
We've got time for some science.
I think we've got time for some science.
Very quick, less than a minute.
I think the karate's about to finish.
When you are, if you want to think about it long term as well, the body you want to have in the next 15, 20 years, how it functions and even how your brain functions is what you're doing right now.
We're getting deep.
So if you want to change the way your whole body and it's gene expression, basically. It's how your genes interact with the environment. If you want to change that, small changes now will affect how you think and how you are in 10, 15, 20 years' time. So once you've put all the small building blocks in place, the bigger picture is what you want to be like in the next 10, 15, 20 years. And I guarantee the person who makes the small steps, the tortoise who does the little things...
be the tortoise.
Yeah, be the tortoise. The things that are often, small and often, will be very different compared to the person who goes crazy doing CrossFit HIIT training for the next 3 or 4 weeks and then does nothing for the next 10 to 11 months. I guarantee that person A will have a very different outlook and make up to person B. And we would every day support the person A over the person B. Person B may, have other reasons why they can't do that, but don't think that person B is doing things better than you.
No.
If you're consistent, that's what makes the changes, because your body recognises that, oh, this person is active X amount of times per week.
And you know
and
what?
Things start to change.
The people that we talk about at home, and sorry, we do talk about our members at home, newsflash, are those people that came to us like really meek and scared and unfit and is this class for me? And then a year later are transformed. And they're the ones that we talk about, because they're the ones that we're the proudest of, aren't we, really, in terms of the changes they've made. Shorties, I'm just getting back to your point. I really want to run, but I've got a weak knee. What should I do? We did, 3 weeks ago, a live that was on this subject, and he's a running coach, and he did a little webinar that went through all of the stuff that you need to know. So in short, if you've got a weak knee, you need to make the knee stronger, but you need to make the muscles around it stronger. So he's the man. I'm going to tag you in. Hopefully the live is still available. I'm going to tag you in on it, because I think you'd find that really useful to listen to. But can you DM me as well with your email address, and then I can send you that information as well on Chris's webinar. All right? But he does a running conditioning session every Saturday, and he's just about to start an online version of the course, aren't you, as well? So
it's
right place to come.
It's
You're
welcome.
welcome.
It's to do with force really, and
don't
how
give
force
up.
increases. Force increases as you run. Force through the joints increases, and where the force goes, not talking about Star Wars, but where the force goes, it will depend on what area is weakest. And if it's the knee, then that could be a weakness in the joint, or it could be a weakness in the muscles around the knee. So it's important to know what they are, strengthen everything around that, and then calm down the running to the point where it's not exacerbating the knee injury. But that's kind of the succinct version, but obviously...
That wasn't that succinct, really.
I was trying to be. So hopefully when you get the webinar, I'll look through our webinar.
The point is he knows his stuff,
yeah,
but we can't really explain it in 30 seconds.
No.
But in the right place to get you started. And in the meantime, walk. If you can walk, and that gets your heart rate up. I always say to people, your heart and lungs don't know whether you're walking vigorously, whether you're cycling, or whether you're running, really. So if you're getting your heart rate up and you're still getting that vigorous workout, for the time being, stick with that. And that's what I always say to my postnatal ladies as well, because you're still getting that impact on your tendons, on your joints. And so you're still kind of putting the groundwork in for the running. Yeah. We're going to sign off now, but thank you for joining us this week. And we'll see you next time.
You will. See you next week.
You take care.
Take
Bye.
care. Thanks. Bye-bye.